Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all to everybody that's still here, rocking with us here in the mobile den of Brewer's Cafe, 1125 Bainbridge Street here in the capital city, Richmond, Virginia. Thank you to those folks that have been with us throughout the night here on Facebook Live. Appreciate you guys there checking us out, www.legacyinternetradio.com. Got a lot of folks that's rocking with us, and I appreciate it. Want to get some introductions in to some folks that slipped in on us during the last segment. Special shout out, of course. He wanted to be here, but it was this thing called 500 miles that kept him from being here. Our brother K-Dub down the ATL is checking in with us. Peace to him. Of course, I want to make sure that the folks who have checked in with us here in the mobile den get an opportunity to say peace. She is the First Lady of Legacy Internet Radio. Comedian S. Lissa P is up in this joint. Hit the mic. Yeah, give it that one. There you go.
Ow, ow.
There you go. There we go. What's going on?
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J on the road at Brewer's Cafe.
What's going on?
How y'all feeling?
Pretty good. Somebody give Grizzy a mic.
It's packed in here. Everybody looks good. Everybody looks sexy. Everybody looks nice.
We got like a mini reunion of the Greenwood Virgin 2.0 with Jay Grizzy and Lissa P up in this joint.
Jay Grizzy.
You see your partner over there?
Brother.
Who that over there?
Yeah, oh yeah. He just bought me a sandwich.
Sandwich.
It's like old times. Yeah.
Feel like old times.
I walked up on him. I was like, "Can I get a bite of yours?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, I want my own."
Trust me, there was a bartering going on. She gonna offer something else.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. So we tightened it, but. Yeah, y'all look good. Everybody looks good. How you feeling, Marcus J?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy. I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing a lot of faces, and I'm seeing the First Lady, and I'm seeing I see the coach.
Coach. Yeah. Let me stop you right there because I heard Coach Ship as I was pulling up, listening to the interview in the car on the TuneIn app. Brother, I'm telling you. First game, your girls could take a day off. I'm dancing when y'all come out. I'm telling you, I got my black leotard with my feathers on the back. I don't want nobody hating. And I'm going to have on a Legacy Internet Radio T-shirt.
Yes, sir.
So I cannot be embarrassed by myself.
What number you going to be wearing?
So I'm going to wear the tight one, the old one, with the cutout in the back. So,
that's funny.
Yes, I'm proud of you. Crazy. I'm proud of you, Coach. I'm glad you're back home. Welcome back. So, yeah. Yeah, so everybody,
glad to definitely be home, Lissa P. Thank you. You actually helped spawn my first ever interview with Legacy Internet Radio, talking me to death at the WB.
Let me tell you, you would talk me to death too if you was like 7, 8. Apple juice is in. Feel me?
But no.
But, I talked you off enough so you could be like, if I come, will you be quiet? And I'm like, yes. You said yes, and I was quiet.
I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this great cast of people.
Most definitely.
Brothers and sisters here.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Your family now.
Can I give a shout out again to this tea? What's this tea again, Mr.? Y'all come to Brewer's Cafe at 1125.
Bainbridge Street. Yes.
This almost tastes like the yak I got in home.
Sip your tea, brother. Sip your tea.
It ain't got no yak.
Legacy Internet Radio, ain't no half step on Marcus J. Family and friends. Y'all look good.
We sipping great. On some tea today?
Yes.
Yeah, we
that Brewer's Cafe tea.
Yeah.
Not apple juice, huh?
I heard some alternative facts the other day. But I ain't gonna go there. What we going to next, Marcus?
Yes,
we're gonna keep going around the room and making sure if anybody wants to say hello or say peace. Okay.
I'm a ventriloquist. I can say peace. Peace.
Stop it.
It sounds right to me. Yeah.
Yeah, she right here. Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
Pick on Dee Dee right quick.
Why?
Just because.
That's what you want to do tonight?
Because you're beautiful until you get to your collarbone. Is that a Redskin scarf on?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Yes, it is. It just happened to go with my outfit, so I decided to wear it. Yes.
Look, I could have gotten you a gray scarf for the Cowboys to go with that.
You could get a gray scarf with HTTR on it, and I'll rock it. I'll rock it. We got minors in here.
But you're still sexy, okay, from the neck up.
I'll take that.
Anyway,
I will take that.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, ain't no half step on Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. That's what they call filler in the business. So we did some filler until we had the proprietor got himself in a good spot. Before we go and say peace to the proprietor, I want to say peace to a couple of people that's checking us out in Facebook Live. Miss Teresa saying peace to you, First Lady. She's saying hey, and then we got one of my big cousins in Jersey is checking us out. He's saying what's going on. Peace to yours truly. My homeboy Kenny Chavis in Jersey City is checking us out as well. So we get some love from my hometown, and we got some love down in ATL. We got a shout out from Salt Lake City earlier. So Legacy Internet Radio, y'all, we all over the place. All right.
We got a few other ones, though. We got a few hollering us out in Charlotte. As a matter of fact, Tallahassee.
Charlotte and Tallahassee checked in?
Yeah.
All right. Well, peace to the country. So thank you. Did you
do that?
Yeah. Peace to the country.
Peace. No. Peace to the whole country. I'm saying we got Jersey and Georgia and North Carolina. Y'all thought I was clowning.
Yeah, we thought.
Yeah, I thought you were like the Bamas.
Y'all trying to no, not like that. See how y'all do. See how they doing me Facebook Live? See how they doing me? It's crazy. It's all right, though. I still love y'all. Ain't no hat stepping. We're Marcus J. Live from the Mobile Den of Brewers Cafe. And if it wasn't for the man who is about to take the mic, we wouldn't even be here. He is a Legacy Internet Radio alum, used to be part of the pregame, used to air on Friday nights here on Legacy Internet Radio. My brother and friend, Mr. Ajay Brewer. What's up, man?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
We call you Prickly Pete.
Yeah.
Because you like the only person I know that's as grumpy as I am. Well, you used to be. Because, see, now all you do is smile. You smile a lot now.
I do.
You got your smile back.
I lost it? Oh,
you must have, because when I met you, you was mean as hell.
I was mean, yeah.
Yeah, you was mean as hell. I remember pick on you. Like, first time I met you, man, I don't even know if you remember. But the first time I met you, came in the den and whatnot, and I think it was the day that you stopped working for
the same day, yeah.
It was the day that you stopped working, and we'll come to that in a minute. But it was the day that you left corporate America, basically. And you came in the den, and you was like, "How you doing all of this? What's this you doing?" You had this look on your face, like I was like, "Man, this is my thing. What you talking about?" You know. And but as I got to know you, and as I got to become acquaintance with you and later on friends with you, I realized that, you know, all of us have our ways about us, but it's all brotherhood and sisterhood and love, and I got a lot of love for you. So I appreciate you allowing us to do this in your home. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, thank you, man.
I remember a conversation that we had a while ago, and sitting to your immediate right is somebody that's very, very close to me, and I remember bringing this young man to you. Specifically, I brought him to you because I wanted him to be able to feed off of some of your energy.
Yeah.
I wanted him to be able to talk to someone who followed his dream. And so let's talk about Ajay Brewer, the stockbroker, because I want to understand how we ended up coming to Brewer's Cafe. I want to know Ajay Brewer, the stockbroker. So what year are we talking about?
The year that I quit.
Well, I know when that is. I want to go through the period why you got to the point where you quit. So So how when you started that job, or that type of job, I should say, what year are we talking about?
2009.
2009, you started that. I see.
No, 2006.
2006. Okay.
So
about a little over 10 years ago from now. So you work in that job, you're a stockbroker.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. What's it like?
No, it was amazing. My girlfriend from middle school, her little elementary school age brother was a stock trader. He was like in third grade. So as a kid, I always thought it was something cool. I never really thought it was an option until I went off to college. So I just needed an internship. So I was just searching around online for a financial internship, and I found one at this brokerage firm. And once I landed the job, I was like, oh, wow, like I'm going to figure out how to master this, see if we can, make some real money and real earnings and just kind of like build a name for myself from that industry. And so I started in 2006 trying to plant my seeds and meet the right people to put myself in a position that I could be a licensed stockbroker. And so that was 2006, so I'm 21 at the time. I didn't become a licensed broker until 2010, 25, okay. 26, 25, something like that.
Okay. So you put your work in.
Yeah. And so I was here. I started in Richmond, and then I moved up to D.C., and I spent about 4 years working with, literally, this is not anything out of some sort of like made-up tagline. This guy was the #1 financial advisor in the whole country, and I was just extremely fortunate to work at his firm. I didn't work specifically for him, but I worked at his financial planning firm. And I studied under this guy for 4 years, and it got to a point where I was trying to figure out how I made, how do I go from making 70, 80, 90 to like, $1 million, which is some of the type of money that these guys were pulling in. And that conversation that I had with him led me to discover that that's not really what I wanted to do in my life. I didn't want to figure out a way to make rich folks richer. I didn't want to figure out a way to drive nice cars and go on fancy trips and wear nice suits. I just wanted to wake up and be happy.
Yeah, applause, yes.
And so at 26, I knew that the dream that I had of becoming this licensed full-service stockbroker with, all the accolades that comes with it, I knew I didn't want that anymore. So that began like, something started in my mind to figure out what else is out there. Like, what could I be doing? So I'm at my cubicle. We're all thinking of these get-rich-quick schemes and like these lottery ticket ideas, and that's what I was doing for 3 years, trying to figure out what in the hell I wanted to do. And I ended up moving back to Richmond for a job. I had my son, and when I had my son, life didn't really change. But I knew, like, I didn't want to be a 5 to 9 o'clock dad. Like, I didn't want to go to work and then have to raise my kid for 4 hours, right. And I didn't want to like wait for the weekends. I just landed with this boss that I didn't like, and that's just the long and short of it. So I quit. I'm glad you went there, because that's where I wanted you to go. So on that day, and I'm guessing this is probably 2014, maybe. Yeah, into 2014.
Yeah, because that's when the pregame was on Legacy Internet Radio back then. Because Legacy Internet Radio been rocking for 4 years, coming up next month. Plug. Anniversary time coming up, 4 years. So you guys were part of the early days with us. And that day that I met you was the day you quit your job. So this is probably late in the year, maybe November, December maybe?
I quit November 18th.
Okay, so yeah.
November 18th, yeah. My son opened his first business November 18th. Yeah.
We're going to talk about that, too. I'm glad you said that. And we're going to have a little fun with the listeners. How old is your son?
2.
And he opened his first business.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to come to that. Shout out to our brother WB at Twi After Dark is checking us out. Shout out to him. He's saying peace to us. And let's see. Big Cuz Kevin is saying shout out to Tallahassee. So he's saying peace to that. He heard us mention Florida a little while ago. Okay, so those are the comments. 804-402-2893 is the number to dial to rock with us. You rock with us. We roll with y'all here on Legacy Internet Radio, live from the Mobile Den of Brewers Cafe, 1125 Bainbridge Street, here in the capital city, RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Of course, we have the owner and proprietor of Brewers Cafe joining us here. I would say in studio, but I'll say in the Mobile Den. So, AJ, that day, all right, so you said you landed with a boss you ain't rock with.
Yeah.
And we don't have to get into the specifics, because if you didn't like him, then we all hate him. So
She's probably an amazing person. We didn't get along in the office. How about that?
I mean, do we need to say mean things to her?
No.
Do we need to?
She's probably still working there. Hopefully.
You think she's listening to us right now?
Absolutely not.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll just call her Sarah. So I don't even know what her name is, but we'll call her Sarah. So you didn't care for Sarah. You ended up saying, you know what? I spent the last 3 years trying to figure out how I'm going to spend the rest of my life. Yeah. I got young AJ Jr., not his name, that I need to take care of. You quit your job.
Yeah, I mean,
what were you thinking? Like, did you didn't do like Craig from from Friday and end up with a job on your day off, without a job on your day off, did you?
Here's the true. I'll give you the true, just unadulterated version of this story. So first off, the young lady is a very nice. I'm pretty sure she's a very nice person.
Who, Sarah?
Sarah was not. This is the long and short. Sarah was not qualified to sit in the position. We have all pretended and faked our way to the position that we wanted at one point, so I don't begrudge her for that. But she landed in an office full of advisors that knew what they were talking about, so it was just a lot of tension.
Right.
And so, I mean, I would get comments like, you must have a problem with women in authority. You must be. And right, and so it's not at that point. It's not even about your job. And so for me, we walk around here trying to impress the world. Like I don't have any pride in people like telling me they don't like me or they like my name comes up and there's a problem with me. So if I have like that energy around me, I either try to remove it or I try to change it. And so if she didn't like the way I performed, if she didn't think that I was coming to work on time, that's one thing. But to start to question my character, I didn't think the job was worth it. And we walked in the door. This is on Everything I Love. We walked in the door making $70K. In order to stay off of the shit list, you had to make like $110. And so some of my peers were making like $250,000. Like, you know what, you crazy. Like, I hate my job too, but I'm not walking nowhere. But, at that point, it was like, I just don't want to be in prison. Like, and to me, any version of like restricting me from living the life that I want to is a prison to me. And so the long and short was I wasn't feeling well. I don't know, you know this, Marcus, but I got like one kidney, right? And so the other kidney don't work really well. And so I may try to bullshit a little bit about me not feeling well, but a lot of times, like, I don't feel well, and I don't feel like going to work. And I probably should have gone to work, but I just didn't want to go, right? And so that led to a conversation between the young lady and I. And then she walks out of the room, and she's very courteous about it, but very, very frank. And she leaves, and I sit back in my chair, and I go, you know what? I should just walk the fuck up out of here right now. And I said it out loud, and I usually at the time I was with this young lady, I used to call her and like get her to talk me off the ledge because again at 26 I'm trying to figure out ways to not be reliant on again a job or a paycheck or somebody else's hand. And so she would always talk me off the bridge, but this time I didn't call her. Like I was just like, you know what, I'm about to make a decision, and she with me for a reason, so we about to ride this thing on out, man. And so I walked into her office and I said, Tanya, thank you, but no thank you. Sarah, Tanya. and then that was it. She was like, you sure, Anthony? And I was like, yeah, man, that's it. Like, I appreciate everything you've done for me, but it's just not working out. And so I walked away not having nothing else. I just didn't want to be there anymore. But again, like, now it's time to put up or shut up. And so, from that point, I was like, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to do comedy. I did comedy at the Funny Bone like twice. I started auditioning for movies. I started looking for jobs in the same field, like with different brokerage firms that I knew. And I started playing in this coffee shop. But the coffee shop was just like an idea that my homeboy gave me. He was like, yo, we should open up this coffee shop. So I was like, all right, I'll just try that too.
Was the coffee shop an idea that you was thumbing through during those 3 years? Or was the coffee shop idea completely came after that?
Yeah. So
our brother Tavon says sometimes you got to bet on yourself.
Yeah, no, that's real. Yeah. I always believed in myself. Like I always did. I think I was more impressed with the Anthony that what Anthony became. So I was more attached to it. So like coming from wherever you come from, if you're like if you're a lawyer or a stockbroker or whatever, you like people look at you like, oh, that's my grandbaby, that's my cousin, or I know him. And so to me, that's I was pulling up at work with like 4 TVs in my car and subs, like 12 subs in the back. And that's on Everything I Love. And I'm pulling up, and I'm talking to clients that have millions of dollars that if they knew that about me, they wouldn't talk to me. And so, like, I've always just been like, I'm just going to do whatever I want to. But when the money is good, right, when you're comfortable, you just like, you know what, I'll just put up with that. So the running joke in my office was like, yo, I'll quit right now, but there's no need to quit. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to quit. Like, you just about to throw a fit for no reason.
Right.
And so I quit. I just, the coffee shop idea, I had like 1, maybe 2 cups of coffee my whole life. That was primarily because of my kidney issue, but I just didn't like coffee. But when the idea was thrown to me, I thought it was genius. Like what this is right now, I was like, yeah, we about to do this. But he told me that when we're working, and he was like, yo, we should quit our jobs and do this. And he's a CPA. You know, I'm a financial advisor. We're young, black, gifted. We come from the city. So I'm thinking that he just sold me a bag. Yeah, he just sold that to me for free. And then on everything, when I quit, I called him. This was a year later. I was like, yo, L, what's up, man? And, you know, it's crazy. What he told me is, like, it's so unfortunate because now I'm in that position. Like, he was like, yo, I would love to do this, but my family, we're not going to make it through no shit like that. And everything that he told me he would have to do, we did. And then, you know, look at my situation. You know, I'm not with the mother of my child no more, so he probably made the best decision, you know, like, and he probably saw this coming, you know,
right.
But at the end of the day, like, it just was so worth it, you know, like, just to people are always looking for plans and, like, they're looking for ways to stabilize their life. You know what? You get one shot at life, man. You know what I'm saying? You only get one life. And so I just want to, if this worked, then it worked. If it didn't, then at least I could say, you know, I tried and I didn't live my life with any regrets.
And, you know, half stepping with Marcus J, live from the mobile den of Legacy Internet Radio. Want to introduce one of our participants on our show regularly. You hear our clairvoyant medium, our sister, Shayna Latia. What's up, Shayna?
Hey, I just want to respond to your story. Like, that's just so moving. I got a respiratory infection. I'm doing as best I can. So I just want to say that was so moving because at the end of the day, so many people out here who are afraid to take a leap of faith. You're going to lose everything. But look how much you gain. Like, that just gave me some insight on my life, just listening to your story. And I come in here all the time. You know, I never really heard your real true story, but, you know, that just imagine the people that's out there listening. And, you know, I mean, that was really heartfelt for me. Like, that really hit home for me. Like, saying, like, you quitting this multi-million-dollar job that you had to do a coffee shop, that you wake up every day, that you can see your son every single day and spend countless amounts of time with your kids. Like, I'm over here about to cry because that was just so moving. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shayna. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Look at you getting a standing ovation in your own joint, man. How about that? You know, how about that? That's the new thing. How about
Mark
that?
J.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just telling AJ, I saw something about what he did. I cannot remember the site that it was on. When I was on Facebook, it just came across my timeline about his story. And I was telling him, I'm like, oh, my God, I know that guy, but I don't know him. But I know him. So I didn't know. That was very interesting. I don't know if it was a Richmond story or if it was like a spotlight on a black entrepreneur. I cannot remember.
Was it captioned? It just had a bunch of pictures of me and.
No, it was like a video. It was literally a video.
The video, like recently.
Yeah.
There's a magazine that did like a spotlight on us.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
okay.
Lifestyle.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know
they did
him.
an amazing job. Yeah.
You know what's really cool
Amazing
about that,
job.
though? I've seen you on, like, the news, too. Like, they roll up in here for whatever reason. You know, there'd be things in the neighborhood. I've seen, like, you on the 11 o'clock news. Like, yo, that's my bruh right there.
Yeah.
Tony, you got something? Hit the switch. Hit the switch.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. So, yeah, like, I get the Yelp emails, and you're, like, always at the top. So, big up.
Yeah.
That means
I applaud you for having the courage to do what you want to do. So many people are afraid to step out and live their lives. So my question to you is, how did the people closest to your family, I know you had a son, how did they react to you just walking away?
You know, I'm pretty sure my family believes in me. But, you know, I dropped out of college. I'm pretty sure all of them were disappointed. I quit my job. I'm pretty confident everybody was disappointed. Because, again, I wasn't like, yo, Grandma, I've got this great idea and it's going to work. I just was just telling her I didn't want to work anymore. I didn't want to work for this lady anymore. And to me, I couldn't convince anybody that there was a fuel inside of me that was burning, and I could create something from that fuel, from that energy. And so rightfully so, I'm pretty sure they were disappointed. I think there were only a few people that were vocal about it. I wish I would have known like how much the mother of my child didn't want to go through this, because I just don't think that she was really honest with me. I don't really think that anybody except for like maybe really close friends understood why I was doing it and really gave me the energy that I needed to feed off of it. Because again, you're talking to somebody who, I never grew up feeling like I was like underprivileged, because I had a grandmother and I had a lot of support. But you're talking to a kid that comes from the inner city that dropped out of college, and now he's got the ability to make. I'll be honest with you. The day I quit meant that the next bonus you don't get. As soon as you walk away, you don't get that. So that next bonus was probably about $25,000 to $28,000, and it's because I didn't wait a month. This is how much I was burning inside. I was like, nah.
You walked away knowing that.
Knowing that
bonus?
I know people that walk away from 6-figure bonuses at the job. That's when I tell you be over it, man. You be over it.
But yeah, when you're at that point, because I used to work with Marcus J, and I did the same thing. Like I literally walked away.
So
because
did I.
I couldn't take it anymore. Right. And the money
not.
doesn't matter. Like it keeps you there for a while, but there's no amount of money that can replace your peace of mind and your happiness.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
So to me, so my family, everybody in my family is probably more concerned with having a stable life, right? Like, because that's what you want for your kids. And you may not want stability, but you want to know that they'll be okay. And how can you assure them that they'll be okay? By making sure they're educated and that they get a good job. And then for 100 years, maybe 200 years, that's how Americans have lived. That's how the world has lived. You got to get a good job, get a good government-paying job, a good benefit, get a great education, go work for somebody or create your own, whatever, and then do that for 40 years or 50 years, and make sure you have a safe neighborhood and a safe home and a pretty yard, and make sure your neighbors don't litter, and just build this perfect life up so that. In theory, we talk about stability, but all it is we just want to make sure everybody's taken care of. We don't want any harm to come to them, and so I'm jumping in their head because I don't really know for sure, how they truly feel, but I'm pretty confident that they were disappointed with me doing that. I was walking around the city with like a 70-page business plan, pitching that, so nobody could tell me that it wasn't going to work. And nobody did either. Nobody in my family or my circle was like, yo, this is a stupid idea. But I'm pretty confident in that, like my grandmother was extremely disappointed with me making that decision. But then again, it's one of those things, like you shouldn't be looking around to justify anything. Like, people are waiting. I talk to people all the time that want to open a restaurant or a bake shop, and they're just telling me, I got to wait because I got to do this and I got to do that. And all I hear is when I was making 60, I just wanted to make 70. And I wanted to make 70, I wanted to make 80. And all I kept doing was just buying more shit with that money. And I ain't never had, you know what I'm saying? It was just I could have made like $30,000 for the rest of my life in income and been completely okay based upon how much money I was spending once I got a raise every time, because I never really kept any of it, right? It just all went back into the economy. And so, yeah, like that's some advice that I have for people. Don't wait. Stop waiting on this plan and for it to be perfect, and just to set up so that your bills don't get paid for. Like, here's some real shit. I like to be real with people just so people know how tough it is. Like, I bought a $15,000 engagement ring that I'm still paying on. That she's gone now. I got like $30,000 of credit card debt that we racked up that we was like, when we got those bonuses, we just pay that credit card off. We was spending money. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was spending that shit. Excuse my language. I've got a car that I get a notice every once in a while. Like, hey man, we're gonna come get this shit if you don't pay it. And this is real. Like, all of this.
We
real.
all got that.
All of my credit is all messed up. But and this is the crazy thing. I'm coming from a place where I was making it, and I had the best credit score, and I had the best income, and my family was well put together. And now, like, here's the negative part to that, right? Like, there's a lot of beautiful parts to it, but the negative is that, like, this is what my family and everybody is concerned about. This is why people don't jump, is because they see all of this stuff that they're afraid that they can't pay off or they can't accumulate or they work so hard to get a stupid house and live in it and spend a whole life in that house. Fuck that house. Excuse my language, but fuck that house, man. Yo,
Yes!
I forgot the rule, too.
Yeah, you did.
I forgot the rule.
That's why I'm sitting there glaring at you right now. Like, I know it's your house and everything, but damn.
I think that could be excused because, I mean,
You have to let go of all of these things that you spend your life trying to get because you know what? All right, so at 26, right, here's something to take away. At 26, the reason why I walked upstairs to ask my boss how do I go from making, like 60 to 70 to like $1 million, excuse me, is because I saw my counterpart's paycheck. In July, it was about $500,000, right? Up to July, it was about $500,000, and he's like 33 at the time. My CEO gives me a like a little interview, like a little excerpt from like this. I don't know if it was Time or CNN Money or something like that. But what they did was they interviewed like CEOs on their dying, like in hospice. Essentially, the title was CEOs on their dying wishes or dying regrets, and there were 7 of them. And I don't remember what all of them were, but the one that was the most prevalent was laying on your back, about to die, realizing that you didn't live your life to the fullest because you put your job, your career, your title, your money ahead of your passion to play the violin or swim or give back to your community or get married. It was all living life with regrets because they put their money. They had this Donald Trump syndrome that once I get to the top, I'm going to be all right. And we all know people like that. I know people in my circle now, they just like, I want to be a philanthropist because I just want to give back to my community. And they ain't doing it right now. You're not going to change. Like, everybody's got this mindset that once I get it, I'm going to be different. Nah, bro. You're not. You're just going to keep going after it. You're going to keep going after it. As soon as you make 6 figures, if I would have made that $1 million, I would have figured out ways to make $10 million. You know what I'm saying? And that's off the backs of rich people, like a real soulless, meaningless job that hopefully I may use one day, right? I want to be a rich dude. I want to have a financial advisor. I want to need that. But I just don't want my life to be contingent upon making other people rich. And so that thing right there, that kept me, like, that was in my mind at 26. I didn't care how much money was thrown to me. I didn't care, what school they wanted me to go to. I didn't care what my grandma thought, what my dad thought, what my girl thought. I was gonna be like the man, and I was gonna use my brain and my skill and my God-given ability to just to be a straight shooter and accumulate everything that I want in my life on my own terms. Like, not just, again, letting go of the financial, aspect to that. And now that's what I have, right? Like, I just do whatever I want to. I may be limited by income, but that's temporary. Everything else that I didn't have before, I have now. And that's because I didn't want to live my life with regrets.
You made a choice.
Yeah.
You made a choice. So I feel like your second calling is that of a motivational speaker because your story is compelling, and I'm sure, judging by the looks on the faces of the folks here, many of us know you, but judging by some of the comments that were made, many of us don't know your story. They may know you but don't know your story. And so to hear you so eloquently lay it out in plain language is compelling. And I appreciate you bearing your soul and just kind of keeping it 100 with us here on the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. Ain't no half step with Marcus J. live from the mobile den of Brewer's Cafe, your cafe, 1125 Bainbridge Street, right here in Richmond, Virginia. Call us and rock with this brother, y'all. 804-402-2893. Another thing that I want to ask you, AJ, is I know it's very important to you that this community, this neighborhood that we're in, thrives. I know it because I've talked to you, and I also know it because I've seen you work. You be having block parties, and I ain't seen them since the 80s in Jersey, like real talk. And so talk to us about why this neighborhood, because I know you, man. Whatever neighborhood you was going to be in, you was going to do that. You was going. If you was in Southside, if you was back in D.C., if you was in Jersey, wherever you was at, you was going to be doing that, the block party thing. But you did it right here. You had a stage built. Like, I don't even know how you did that. But talk to us about why this neighborhood is so important.
I'm glad you started it with by saying I would have done it in any neighborhood, and I think that's important. And I think people should really hear that, to me, it's where you live. You know, like I'm never going to be the person that says I'm going to move out and like so my kids can go to better schools. I'm going to be the reason why kids, like my kid goes to the school, and my kid is going to be the reason why other kids go to that school because it's a better school because we're there. My kid's going to, and this goes for my family, like we're going to make this neighborhood, I mean, it's already great. It's a nonviolent area. It's not like it's a bad neighborhood now, but, you know, we're going to hopefully improve the quality of life here, you know, like, and that's the goal for me. I ain't never want to move to New York or Charlotte or L.A. because it was cool and hip and it was a thing to do. Like, I'm going to make it cool and hip to be right here. And you know, I don't want to, I'm clearly not responsible for that, but you look at Richmond now and you see everybody feeling like so pride, having so, like their hearts filled with pride about their city and how great the city is now. And that's so important to me because now you have everyday citizens like me waking up feeling like, you know what, I can change a whole neighborhood if I wanted to. Forget moving out to the county or moving to this neighborhood. I can change the whole thing right now. And I don't know, that's just super important to me. I lived here, you know, like I lived in Manchester. I moved, I got my dream loft penthouse. It was like, it wasn't a penthouse, my dream loft apartment. It was like 1,600 square feet. It was beautiful. Like it was all brick. It was cement. Like I wish, that's the only thing I really regret. Like I lost my apartment. It was beautiful, man. Like it was so great. You see the pictures, bro? You see how it goes?
Is that the place we did the live show?
Oh, yeah.
We did a live show from that apartment.
Oh my God.
Everything in life, this life is temporary.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You have to live your life as a yogi, non-attachment. That's the Yoga Sutra. Yeah. Everything in life, you have to live non-attachment. Even with your spouses, with your car, your dog, your kids, everything has to be non-attachment. And that's one of the hardest lessons in life to live by.
Yeah. No, I believe that. Like, I mean, I miss it, but, you know, it wasn't worth keeping. Why I bring that up? I completely forgot where I was going with that.
Well, it was your dream house, man. We needed to invoke it some kind of way.
Happy about living in Richmond, and you were going to make it a place where you want to be.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I lived here. I lived right up the street, and what better place to do it than in your own neighborhood? You know, like I was doing the whole let's go to Ryan Homes, let's go to these homes and look at these homes and look and envision what our life could be. And all I could think about was, that would be cool, but what if we can just change this area right here? What if we can do it right here? What if we don't have to move anywhere else? You know, what if we can create our own? I created my own like hangout spot. You know what I'm saying? And that's really important to me. Like, cause I like to hang out. I like to be around people. And so I created that here. What better place to do it than when you live? Like, why go to Short Pump and just go chase money again? I'll just be a stockbroker. Why go to Carytown and just chase money again? Like I can and probably will be in a more populated area one day and maybe, you know, chase after sort of, you know, like making Brewers a national brand. But why not start where you can not only be a part of something great, you can create something great, and you can give people the incentive to not have that you know, we all graduate college or we graduate high school and we think, you know what, I'm about to leave this area. I live in Philly, I live in LA, I live in North Dakota. I'm about to leave this area and show them. Like, why not just show, like, just do it where you are. Wherever you go, you can make your own life happen wherever you are. And that's the long and short. Like, I just wanted to make it happen right here. Like wherever I lived is where it was going to be. Yeah. And this was just my homeboy BG. His aunt had this space. She was going to do a coffee shop, and I just knew her. She backed out, and I stepped in, and the rest is history.
The rest is history, man. I'm proud of you, brother, man. I'm so proud of you, man. And I remember, you know, seeing this space without any of this furniture and before the paint went up on the walls and all of that kind of stuff. And I was just, you know, very, very happy, you know, to be here. You know, I remember coming in on the first day and then the year anniversary. And, you know, I think you got about a year and a half in now. And, you know, I can't imagine this part of town without Brewer's Cafe. And that's the highest compliment I could pay you. Because when I come in here, I feel like I'm at home. Because I'll come and I'll sit in that corner over there where the First Lady and Miss Tony are sitting. I usually sit over there in that corner when I come in here. And I watch you work this room. And everybody in here is family to you. Yeah. And I've seen you watch, like, people who you've never seen before. Hi, my name is Ajay Brewer. Like, that's some serious stuff. Like, I think people take for granted how important it is for you to walk up to a stranger and say, hello, my name is.
Oh,
You know, and
Can I give you a 30-second story?
Yeah, and after you give me the 30-second story, you gotta tell the crew about the little homeboy.
My man. I'll roll right into that.
Yeah.
So I moved to D.C. and I worked for this guy named Daryl. Daryl was extremely intelligent. He just so happened to be the only black financial advisor at this #1 financial planning firm. There were 2 of them, I think, so he's 1 or 2. And I worked for him as his assistant. And I was living in Ashburn and in Tyson's, and I would get on the elevator and nobody would speak to me, right? Now, I'm not one of those, like it's because I'm black type of persons, and maybe it was, but I doubt it was, especially in D.C. They're not really on the whole race thing like VA is. But so I just couldn't really understand. Like, I grew up in Richmond. I spent some time in Pittsburgh when I was a kid, and everybody was at least courteous to you. Like if you even if you didn't want to talk to them, this isn't New York where you walk down the street and you don't want to be bothered with. This is the city of Richmond. So if you walk down the street and you don't want to be bothered with, you still look up and go, and then just keep going, right? You just say hi, recognize them. So I would get on the elevator every morning. Nobody would speak to me, and I would always have to say, hi, how you doing? Good morning. And then they would just like, oh, hey, hi. And I came to him maybe like 2 or 3 months into me moving up there and was like, yo, Daryl, why don't people speak to people up here? And he says something to me that just like sticks with me and helps me get through when people like do wrong things to me now, because it's just so relevant. He said, why is it their job to speak to you? And it made so much sense at the time, right? And I was like, damn, that's so, like, you're absolutely right. First of all, that's mean as hell. But I mean, just to be clear about it. But his larger point was they have every right to be mean. They have every right to not speak to you. This is D.C. You don't have to engage with you in the conversation. And for 3 years, I lived my life like that, right? Like I'm in the car, I don't look up and wave to people. If I walk down the street, I don't speak to nobody because I'm in D.C., right? I'm going to just be like y'all. I'm going to get in the elevator. I'm not going to speak to nobody. And then when I came back to Richmond, and everybody's speaking to you, like everybody's going out the way. I mean, it's not like it's Dinwiddie and people are like trying to start a whole conversation, but people are at least acknowledging you, right? And when I walk into here, that's what I think about. You know what I'm saying? Like when I answered a client call when I was a financial advisor, I always start with their first name and end the conversation with their first name, just so that they know that even though I don't have to do it, Daryl, like you're right, I don't have to do this, but I want to. Like I just want to be a nice person. And so it's genuine when you walk in here. I may not be truly interested in having a full dialogue with you at that given point, but I need you to know that I at least like you and I want you to be around. And I'm a human, so I want to be nice to you. Like there's something about Southern hospitality that I think a lot of people don't get, nor do they care to get. And that goes for Richmond residents and North residents, because I know people that say, you don't speak to me, I don't care. But it matters. Like, you can't be walking around just being mean to people.
I just wanted to I'm glad you said that, because being someone that's from the North, I mean, I left the North when I was 18. I'm 42 now. And so I spent, obviously, most of my life and all of my adult years here. And so I'm one of those people that's more likely to speak. And even if I don't speak, I'm going to see if I can catch your eye. And if I catch your eye, at least nod. You know what I mean? And folks who don't do it, I do get a little bit annoyed for about 5 seconds, and then it's gone. But like you said, I'm a human. Yeah. You know, it's human nature to not walk past people like they don't exist. Yeah. You know. So last thing I want to get to in the limited time that we have left is the young proprietor, the 2-year-old. Tell us about this, man. He got his own business, man.
Yeah, no, Park's the man. You know, I've always once he was born, I just knew that I was going to be. It's so sad that you got to say you're a different parent. Like, you know, this is just what I think everybody wants to do, but just can't do it. Just like I couldn't do it, you know, because I was working. But like, I just want to give this young kid the ability to know what. I want to give him street smarts before he can even, you know. Quantitatively like put together complex thoughts. Like at 3 or 4, I want him to be wise enough to know that if he wants a piece of candy, he's got to go put a quarter in the machine, right? And so we always thought like that. I thought like that since I was a kid. And so in my original business plan was the concept of creating these candy stands and replicating them, duplicating them across the city. And so the whole goal was you know, you put a candy stand in a coffee shop, you might get $1,500 a year. But you put 10 candy stands in 10 different coffee shops, that's $15,000. you know, it's unbelievable how fast that money can grow if you really think about it. Like, you know, we used to talk about incremental bumps up, right? The whole goal in financial planning is to add money on a consistent basis. Don't try to look for the big fish, just keep adding money. And so Park doesn't need to look for the big fish. He can turn his one machine into really 50, and that's not an exaggeration, in like 15 years. So imagine this 16-year-old driving his car around, going to school, spending 2 or 3 hours a day filling up his machines, and literally making $65,000 off of 50 machines.
As a teenager.
As a teenager, right? And so I just thought that was genius. I'll be real with you. Like, because people do that. Like, you know, I had clients that were retired, didn't have nothing to do, so they took a little bit of money. They bought, you know, $50,000 worth of machines, and they pulling in $250,000 a year just by collecting coins all the time.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was just genius. So we created that for him. My man from Ironclad Pizza bought a couple machines, and I bought one from him. And man, it's just kind of taken off. Like the news saw one of my customers is a cameraman for Channel 6. They gave him a spotlight in the story. Channel 8 saw that. They're doing a story on kid entrepreneurs this whole week. Elijah Cummings, who is one of the brightest young 18-year-olds in the whole city, has a program called Youth Entrepreneur, and he was featured on this morning on Channel 8 at 9. Tomorrow it's another group of kids. Parker's on Wednesday. But I just want to be I'm gonna be that parent that forces my son to do everything. Like, they're gonna tell me like I'm doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, Parker's about to throw his first Easter egg hunt. We're gonna invite all youth entrepreneurs here. So any kid that bakes or cooks or has like some sort of craft that they want to sell, that's what that Easter egg hunt is going to be. So we're going to hopefully bring 1,000 people out here, and all of the proprietors, all the people who are going to be running this, including hopefully the DJ, is going to be all, 18 and under. And I want to be, I'm gonna make Parker cool. Like, like this. Let me say something.
You're gonna be the cool. You're gonna be the kid that other kids want to hang out with.
Well, I use the word cool. I need to stop saying that because people be thinking I'm like trying to be like, like this like hip dude. But when I say cool, I mean my son's gonna be bright. I'm gonna make sure that he's independent. I'm gonna make sure that he thinks both qualitatively and quantitatively. I'm gonna make sure that he can put together complex thoughts into very simple terms. I'm gonna make sure that this kid is like bright beyond his years, and people gonna look at him like, yo, you lucky you got that kid. But in my mind, I'm doing everything. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like this is, to me, I ain't looking for no parent, no daycare, no like school system to raise my kid. I'm not gonna send my kid to some great school to let them do the job. Like I'm never gonna do that. I'm never gonna relinquish my responsibility. And so when people say that Parker's bright or he looks nice or he's handsome or he's smart,
because of his daddy.
It's because of me. And I find super pride in that. And I'm like, really, I got a big ego about that. And I think that everybody should.
You should. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio, the mobile den of Brewer's Cafe, and we're talking to the proprietor, Ajay Brewer, man. Outstanding. Very, very proud of you, and I look forward to watching you continue to grow in your business as well as in your community activism, because you're not one who just talks about it. You actually be about it, and that's what we need more of. I appreciate you. Ain't no half step, Marcus J. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to take a brief walk through Shan Pipple Room. My brother, Mr. 3375, I got a sneaky suspicion that we're going to keep with the same trend that we're on right now. Marcus J. and the crew and you. Be back in a few, y'all.
Hey, this is Warren Ballantyne, the number one truth writer in America, and I'm listening to my man, my brother, Marcus J. right here on Legacy Internet Radio.